Raging Bolt is the newest Paradox Pokemon added to the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Indigo Disc DLC. With massive bulk and an incredible 137 special attack stat, an electric dragon typing, and a new signature move which deals priority electric damage, this Pokemon is going to be able to counter the meta teams that used Urshifu and Tornadus to dominate the metagame for the past few months. But just how powerful can we expect this Pokemon to be? That's what we'll discuss in today's video, and I'll share with you guys some movesets to get you started. So, Raging Bolt. Honestly, this is probably going to be, I would say, the best new Pokemon coming out of the DLC. I know I uploaded a video yesterday saying Duraludon was, or Archaeolodon was, but upon further inspection, no, this Pokemon is absolutely ridiculous, and we're going to cover it today. You know, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications, whatever. But yeah, let's get into it. So, Raging Bolt is the Paradox form of Raikou, and despite Raikou basically being a fast special attacker with some pretty cool support moves in Snarl, Dual Screens, you know, Volt Switch, Scald, that sort of thing, Raging Bolt is different. Raging Bolt is a fat dude. It is an electric dragon type with some pretty ridiculous base stats. Taking a look at them here, we can actually see that Raging Bolt has 125 HP, 73 attack, 91 defense, 137 special attack, 89 special defense, and 75 speed, and the ability Photosynthesis. So, I mean, looking at that HP stat and these defenses, it's going to be a really rough Pokemon to try to take down. Basically, if you're not hitting it for super effective, you might as well not be hitting it at all. Being an electric dragon type means that it's a really, really good matchup into Torn Urshifu, which I feel like this thing was handmade to beat. Basically, like, if you don't know, rain teams with Tornadus Urshifu have been dominating the metagame for the vast majority of the Pokemon Home, post-DLC, whatever you want to call it, VGC formats. And Raging Bolt has access to the signature move called Thunderclap. This is basically 70 base power, special Sucker Punch that is electric type. Being able to hit things like Iron Bundle, Urshifu Rapid Strikes, and Tornadus for super effective damage before they can even touch you, that's really huge. And yeah, no, I mean, it naturally resists everything coming from those two. The only thing it doesn't like is Chien-Pao, but if this thing goes for like a Terra Water or like a Terra Fairy, it could care less about any of these guys. So yeah, let's get into the first moveset here. I don't want to waste any more time. The first moveset I have for you guys is going to be an Assault Vest set. This guy is going to be running a Modest Nature with Photosynthesis, Terra Grass, and we're running just max HP, max special attack, 4 speed. You might be wondering what the 4 speed is and why we have 20 attack. I'll get into that in a second. So the 4 speed, actually no, let's talk about the IVs first. So why are we running 20 attack? Well, for some reason, Game Freak decided it'd be a really good idea to lock the new Paradox Pokemon to have 20 IVs across the board. So the lowest you can go on them is 20 or 21 or something. It's something like that. Point is, you can't have 0 attacks. So there is no optimal Raging Bolt. There is no 0 speed Raging Bolt. None of that. That does not exist in the game at this moment. And funny enough, I feel like at the first regional, I feel like at Portland Regionals, we might have a couple of DQs because someone might notice, like, or a judge might notice, hey, this guy's Raging Bolt has way less attack than is actually possible within the game. I don't know. Just a prediction. So, you know, keep that in mind. But yeah, this guy, we're running 4 speed because you could argue 12, really. What that's going to allow you to do is outspeed opposing Raging Bolt, because there might be a situation where you're both at like super low health, or they might have Terra'd. And the way that Sucker Punch, the way that Thunderclap works is that the faster Thunderclap will work and the other one will not, because they're both priority moves and it only works if you're going before the other Pokemon. So that's why the 4 might be important here, but you know, it's only 4 EVs. You can put them in defense, into special defense, wherever. This is just like your all-arounder set. Not much thought put into this one. But yeah, we're running Thunderclap, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor, and Snarl. Obviously, Thunderclap is going to be your priority move that is like half the reason to run this guy. Thunderbolt is going to be your main stab, coming off a base 137 special attack with a Modest Nature. It's going to hit like a truck. Draco Meteor is going to be your Dragon Stab. Yeah, you are going to have to switch out if you do go for that move. It's going to be at -2 after that point, but it is a very powerful attack. You could make the case for Dragon Pulse if you really wanted to. Honestly, with 137 special attack, it does hit decently hard, but I prefer Draco just for the burst damage. You can threaten a KO on a lot of Pokemon with that. And of course, Snarl is the final move. This guy doesn't get a lot of coverage, but it does appreciate Snarl because it's able to beat Psy Spam teams a little bit easier. Obviously, you're not going to be able to go for Thunderclap in Psychic Terrain, But versus something like an Indeedee Armarouge or an Indeedee Hatterene lead, going for that Snarl turn 1 and lowering their special attack output is going to be really important to making sure your Pokemon are able to survive expanding forces, especially coming off a Hatterene. Now that that thing has that move, it's a little bit ridiculous how much damage it can do. So yeah, just lower the damage output from special attackers. It's going to be really important. Terra Grass is here mainly just as a defensive option. Under Trick Room, you're going to be able to avoid Spore and Rage Powder, which is really nice for this guy, but also as a grass type, you'll be able to reduce the damage that you take from your one electric weakness, of course, being ground. So Stomping Tantrums, etc. You won't care about that too much. And yeah, this is just your all-arounder set. I really think that this is going to be like 90% of Raging Bolts on the ladder for the first couple of days. But with that, we can get into a little bit of a more complex set. This is actually what I've seen my buddies run and what I intend on running for a little bit. This is going to be the Booster Energy set. So Raging Bolt is an insanely powerful special attacker with the 137 special attack stat, but it's also extremely bulky. And when you pair it with something like a Rillaboom for grassy terrain recovery and Fake Out as a partner, it can be really annoying to take out. Along with that, if you pair it with like an Amoonguss, you also have redirection on it and Pollen Puff to keep it alive. So this set is going to be running Terra Fairy. We're going to be running 228 speed, or sorry, HP, 4 defense, 180 special attack, 4 special defense, and 92 speed. So what's the thought behind this, or what's like the idea behind this moveset? The special attack is just dumped until you hit the bump. Someone asked me what the bump is. Basically, the bump is a certain stat where when you add the last 8 EVs, instead of going up by 1 point, you go up by 2. So like, I forget what the actual number is for this one, but you might see like a jump from, 173 attack to 175 instead of going to 174. That's what the bump is. That's basically what you shoot for. The speed is enough where if you're facing a slower variant of Rillaboom, like something that hits only around like 111 speed, this should outspeed that. Which is really important because, like I said, Thunderclap, you're going to want to go before the other priority move. So if they go for a Grassy Glide, Thunderclap will fail if they go before you. And yes, it is a resisted move. So you probably won't want to go for the Thunderclap, but there are going to be endgame situations where you might need to versus a Terrastalized Rillaboom. I just wanted to keep that in mind when I added the speed, but also that speed tier will mean that under Tailwind, you will outspeed, opposing Fluttermanes, Dragapult if you see it, that sort of thing. And the HP and defense are just dumped. I just hit 4 in each defense stat and dumped the rest of the HP. But yeah, with Calm Mind, Protect, Thunderclap, and Dragon Pulse, also I just realized the type is wrong on Dragon Pulse for some reason, that exported incorrectly. You're going to be, also the type is just wrong on the slide altogether. I don't know what's going on with it. I have a little bot, it's a little bit broken right now. But yeah, the moves are going to hit really hard. Dragon Pulse is, like I said, a move that I feel like doesn't hit nearly as hard as you want it to. But by using that Calm Mind at +1 with the initial booster energy, raising the special attack stat by 30%, it's gonna hit like a truck. It's actually like a really scary Pokemon to switch into. And especially with those Thunderclaps, after that Photosynthesis boost, you're basically just gonna one-shot every single variant of Urshifu and deal like 50% to other just not very bulky attackers like opposing Shenpao. You're gonna one-shot Tornadus, those sort of things. So it's a really scary Pokemon. I really like this set. This is one I'm going to run for a while, and I actually have it being ran on a moveset guide tomorrow. And Terra Fairy is just another defensive Terra. I decided to go with Fairy on this one just because, like, it's neutral against everything, and also into opposing Raging Bolts. They're going to have to go for Dragon Pulse into you to try to get a KO. And if you're Terra Fairy, you can block at least one of those, and then they're forced to go for Thunderclaps. So that's really good. The last moveset I have for you guys, hopefully the slides on this one aren't messed up, hopefully. Yeah, it looks like things are messed up again. That's fine. We'll fix it later. We'll fix it later. I know I'm going to get so many comments on that. It doesn't matter. Terra Blast is a normal move. Draco Meteor is a dragon move. Thunderclap is electric. Voltage is electric. This is just the Choice Specs set. Choice Specs, Terra Fairy. We're running a decent amount of speed. Basically, this is just going to outspeed like a ton of Pokemon. Once again, you're going to outspeed like opposing like Rillaboom and stuff, but I decided to go a little bit higher on this one. With that, we just maxed out the special attack. I put 4 in each defense stat and dumped the rest into the HP. We're running Terra Blast, Draco Meteor, Thunderclap, Volt Switch. This set is a little bit faster, so you can pair it with like a Tailwind Pokemon and be able to go for some really powerful Volt Switches, pivot in and out, partner with like an Urshifu, a Rillaboom, Incineroar. It's like a very pivot-heavy variant of Raging Bolt, which I think can be really scary because you also threaten to just one-shot a ton of things with Thunderclap. If you really wanted to, you could go Terra Electric. It doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. It's a really neutral type, so it could go kind of crazy in that sense. But yeah, this is just like your major damage dealing set. I feel like there's not really much to explain here. As for partners, yeah, Raging Bolt loves being on a ton of archetypes. The one thing that I've seen it on that really messed with me that I'm going to showcase tomorrow is Sand. So Raging Bolt's really interesting on Sand teams because the main thing that messes up Sand, that messes up Tyranitar and Excadrill, is the existence of Tornadus and Urshifu just being the most dominant thing in the metagame. You're never going to have Sand up versus them. But with Raging Bolt, it's like they're not allowed to attack the partner Excadrill. They're not allowed to attack the partner Tyranitar, else they'll just be, you know, one shot by a Thunderclap. It's a really cool Pokemon, and I'm really excited to showcase it for you in the next video, but that'll be dropping tomorrow. That's really all I have to say about Raging Bolt. Run it on whatever you need it to. We're just like now sort of starting to experiment with this guy. We're just starting to see the potential it has, and it seems like it's a top tier Pokemon. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this Pokemon in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, you know, leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.